On today's throwback, we're going to be looking at the most requested throwback of all. Today we're going to be looking at the Mezco Cinema of Fear Series 1, and we're going to be looking at the Friday the 13th, Part 4, the final chapter, Jason Voorhees. And as I mentioned in the very long intro of this video, this was the most requested throwback of them all. For all the throwbacks that I've wanted to go back and reshoot, I've had countless people tell me, when are you going to do a review of the Friday the 13th Part 4 Jason Voorhees? And the answer to your question is, I'm doing it right now. But yes, this was a review I definitely wanted to go back and review, or redo I should say. If you've watched my original review, oh man, bit of a train wreck. Certainly it was back in the day when I was getting my feet wet with doing YouTube reviews, and hopefully I've progressed from when the time you've watched the original review. And I do definitely encourage you to watch the original review. I'm actually going to post a link at the side and watch this review, and hopefully I've made some progress. But it definitely was a figure I wanted to go back and do a review of, because to this day, it's still my favorite Jason Voorhees figure. And so much so that if you actually check out my homepage channel, or my channel homepage, you'll see that in the Hall of Fame, Part 4 Jason has made it. And there's so many reasons as to why this figure has made it. We're definitely going to go through it together. First thing first, I don't unfortunately have the packaging for this figure. The packaging was disposed of right after I did the initial review of this guy. So packaging is one thing that you're not going to see in this review, but we will hopefully do a little more in-depth review of the figure itself. First thing, let's have a look at the figure and move the camera up a slight bit here. Definitely my favorite Jason Voorhees figure released, and I'm talking Mezco, I'm talking NECA, and McFarlane. This figure is gorgeous. It's just fantastic. The sculpt on it, and I don't know, I think I might have even said it at the time that I did the review of this guy. The sculpt is, for a Series 1 really, this sculpt is very nicely done. And I'll give you guys a shot of the mask here. Friday the 13th Part 4, I think, is really when the franchise went Hollywood. And I don't mean Hollywood in the sense that, you know, it had huge budgets or anything like that, but it definitely had a different feel to it. If you watch Part 1, Part 2, and then Part 3, they all kind of have a low-budget feel to it. And then if you watch Part 4, it might just be me, but I find Part 4 has a very distinct bigger budget feel to it, from the score, the way it was shot, the gore factor certainly. It just definitely felt more Hollywood produced. And it's still one of my favorite Friday the 13ths. It's not necessarily my favorite, but it's definitely one of my favorite Friday the 13ths. Many people would consider Jason Voorhees in that movie to be the definitive looking Jason. From the top, the pants, and especially the mask. The accessories that this figure includes. Actually, you know what? Before we do the accessories, one of the things that he does feature, and this was really to the point that you notice that Mezco did a really excellent job on the figures, because the Friday the 13th figures in the past did not have removable masks. And when I got this particular figure and the idea that I could take the mask off, I was blown away by the fact that you could do that. And thankfully they've carried that over with the Part 6 Jason as well as the Part 3 Jason. The mask, though, as you can see, is nicely detailed. It's weathered. You can see all the scratches and everything else in it. You can see the cleaver mark in his mask, or it's an axe mark, And that's another reason why I wanted to do some of these throwbacks. Some of my older videos, unfortunately, in the case of part 4 here, I didn't actually watch the movie that recent to when I shot the video. So there were some inaccuracies, unfortunately, to my review. And I'm getting on in age that sometimes remembering stuff isn't as easy as it used to be. But I don't know. I think I remember commenting that the cleaver mark, or the mark in his mask, or the mark in the top of his head, was made in part 4. Clearly, that wasn't the case. For anyone who watched the movies, you know that the mark in his mask as well as in his helmet were done in part 3. I don't know. Sometimes you slip on these things. But as you can see, the mask is nicely detailed. You can see the fresh blood on the mask from the axe that he took to the head there. But I love the fact that you can take these masks off. My only concern with the masks is the straps. These straps, from what looks to be very unpliable plastic. Unpliable, is that a word? But they don't have a lot of give to them. And I've seemed to have a history lately when I do these throwbacks that oh my god, I tend to break something. I break something on the figure that I didn't that was fine in the initial video, so I'm hoping I haven't jinxed myself by saying that. But the mask is very nice. Putting the mask down very carefully, we'll look, of course, at the face on Jason here. A face only a mother could love. Look at the face on this guy, eh? And as you can see, he's got the gash in the top of his head there. And again, nicely detailed on the face. The face is quite nice. I mean, they did a great job on it. You certainly can go with this head if you so prefer. However, you can take off the head, and he also does come with an alternate head. And the alternate head features not only the gash in the top of his head, but also the gash in the side of his head. As I snap this into place, he also features the gash in the side of his head from when Tommy took the machete to him. Speaking of machete, he does come with a very bloodied machete. And the nice thing about it, which I think I actually commented on in the initial review, is that you can take the machete and you can plug it into place, and oh boy, does that ever look... That looks painful. That definitely looks painful. But you can definitely put the machete in his head if you so wish, if you're that kind of person. The only downside, though, is that you can't put the machete in the side of his face with the mask on. But if you want to be show accurate, he wasn't wearing the mask at the time anyways. But he does come with the machete. Speaking of also machetes, I've got his alternate hand in right now. And you'll notice it has the gash in his fingers as well. You can also take the said machete and you can plug it into... Oh, this is going to hurt. You can also plug the machete into his hand as well. Very gruesome. Very gruesome. The hand, if you don't necessarily want to keep, and I'm going to do this off camera just so I don't break it, but if you so wish, you don't necessarily have to have that particular hand. You can put in the original hand, and personally, if you ask me, I don't know, anyone probably isn't asking me anyways, but if you ask me, I prefer to keep the original hand and the original head on Jason, because I like him with the mask on, and I'm doing this off camera, I do apologize. But I like the original I like the original head, I like the head with the mask on, and I like his hand uncut. But you do have the option to go either way if you so wish. The other accessories that he does include, he includes his axe, a very bloodied looking axe. He comes with the hacksaw that he took to poor Axel in the morgue, because Axel wasn't paying attention. He also comes with the cleaver, which I believe he killed, if I remember, he killed Crispin Glover with in the kitchen. I think Crispin Glover anyone want to correct me. I think Crispin Glover went for a corkscrew, like a wine opener, and he turned around, and not only did he get the corkscrew to the hand, he got the pork cleaver right into his head. But he does come with the cleaver. It would have been nice if he had included the corkscrew as well, but I guess, because it was so small, it probably would have been very fragile. Aside from the head and the alternate hand, he also does come with the tombstone. The tombstone of Pamela Voorhees, 1930 to 1979. As you can see, it says "at rest." Nice detail on the tombstone. In the way of Jason's articulation, he has the full range of movement in his head because of the ball joint. He has a ball jointed shoulder that you can move up and down, left and right. One thing I like about this particular figure that the Mezco line seemed to drop later on, which was a total mistake if you ask me, is that he's got a hinged elbow. Later released Jason's had a swivel elbow, and I believe part 6 still had the hinge, but certainly with the remake as well, he had a swivel elbow, which I don't like. I prefer the hinged elbow personally. But he has a swivel in the wrist. You can also bend at the hand. And then another interesting bit of articulation is that you can also rotate. There's a ball joint in his torso. You can move the legs as well. You can bend the legs. You can bend the knees, which again was a point that they omitted in later released figures. I wish they would bring back the jointed elbow, the jointed knee. But he also has no articulation in the foot. But a very solid figure. Definitely if you were going to pick up any horror movie toy, this is the toy you want to get. Unfortunately, everybody's got that same idea, and to find this guy on eBay, this is the symbol we use for lots of money, and he definitely is quite expensive to find on eBay. If you can find him for a steal, a good price, I would say pick him up without any hesitation. This figure is definitely a pickup. So much so I would give this figure a 9.5. I'd almost give this figure a 10. One of my favorite Jasons, and one Jason that you definitely need to get. But that was a throwback. That was a throwback on the very cool Cinema of Fear Series 1. And that was Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. That was Jason Voorhees. Hope you guys enjoyed it. There's so many more throwbacks to come, and so many spots on the way. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.